In this episode of Let's Build a New Wagon, I drove to my favorite CNC shop, pick up some random steel bits, weld the stairs, play steel Lego, doing some more welding, some test fitting, and finally grinding, followed by more grinding. Riveting episode with ample amount of voiceover. Enjoy. As I was putting this video together, I realized that I haven't made these, short clips where I talk about sections of what is going to happen. So I think I'm pretty much going to just voice over this, maybe just leave some of the build footages, as a time lapse or something. So I haven't decided yet, but I need to create these voiceovers so I can tell you what's really happening in this episode. So pretty much after I finished the recording of the plans, and I talked through the plans, so I already sent the drawings to the CNC cutting company, and after 2 weeks or 1 week they said, oh, the cutting is done, you can come and collect it. So this was the day when I was getting up in the morning quite early. I think I left around 6 o'clock from home. By the way, the timestamp and the dates and time on the recording is completely off. This is my dash cam, which is in the car. So on the way out, I thought I'm just going to travel through the city because it's still quite early, so the traffic shouldn't be really bad, and it wasn't. It was just normal morning traffic, nothing complicated. So it took me about 45 minutes, 1 hour to get there. It's January, it's pretty shit weather. There was periods out on the highway which was extremely foggy and it was cold and everything, but I got there at dawn, and I'm happy that I was prepared because I actually realized that I had a couple of parts missing. So all of the parts were cut, but then from 2 parts I was missing, I think, 2 more parts. So they cut 2 and I needed 4 or something like that, and they happened to be on the same material. So the guy was really nice. He said, okay, let's go and then see the guy who is working on the CNC machine. So we went to the guy, and it was so funny because I was going through the shop with all the CNC machines and the benders and everything, and he said, okay, I'm just working on something that should be done in 10 minutes and I can cut yours. And so I said, yeah, I definitely need like half an hour to pack everything into the car. So I started packing, and by the way, I was ready. The missing parts were also done, so I didn't have to wait anything extra. And as you can see in the footage, I wasn't really doing much. I was just, going back and forth. They opened the big door. I was able to park just outside the door, and I started to bring in all the parts. And it was just in a big pallet, all the stuff that I cut. It was arranged, and even the smaller parts were bagged in a couple of bags. I mean, not separately, but they were just throwing them in a bag, so I guess it's just easier to find them on a pallet. And luckily, there was no part which I could not carry myself. The main, 5mm section of the, the main chassis, that was the heaviest one, but I was still able to carry it, get it into the car, and then I dragged it in from the other side. And after that, it was just like, making sure nothing is rattling, everything has, is supported, because it's going to be a long drive back home, and I don't want, a lot of noise and everything from these steel parts banging against each other. So probably it took me about, 45 minutes to get everything packed and ready, and then I left. And at that time, the morning traffic definitely kicked in, and I think there was also an accident on the way back to the highway. So I decided to go around the city on the ring road, which is it's much easier. That's obviously highway, so there's less traffic. There was still a lot of cars in the morning. I think that was a Monday. Yes. But yeah, no complaints. I can go without any issues. When I started welding, I thought I'm going to start with something easy, and I'm going to start with the steps, which easy because they are some very simple and lightweight parts, but on the other hand, they are 1.5mm parts, and actually I think I only did 2mm on this machine. So I had the settings for 2mm, which I think, if I can remember that correctly, that's 40 amps, and I was going all the way down to maybe 13, if I can remember, pretty much the lowest settings on this device. and I would just still, adding these pulses. So I use like, maybe 3 pulses for the edge of the steps, because I was really concerned that I'm just going to burn through the material. But luckily it didn't happen. The weld hold, actually I had to grind quite a lot of them down because it just left this puff of metal on the side, and I just wanted to be flush. So anyway, and in the beginning, just to align the first 2 pieces, I was using these angle magnet just to align the 2 of them, and I, well, basically tacked it, and then I removed it from this magnet, and so that was the side and one of the steps. And then on the second step, I just eyeballed it and hold it more or less vertical. And again, I tacked it from one side, or I just used, 2 drops or 2 puffs, whatever. And then I put the other side on, and again, tick, 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 and also from the inside. And I put it into this bent bracket, which is going to hold it on the bogie. And that was it. So it's definitely not perfect. It's not 90 degrees. It's the 4 different parts are not identical. But again, from a from a 2-foot perspective or 2 feet perspective, it's going to be more than enough. It's going to be painted black with all the other parts on the bogie painted black. So yeah, this is just great. Which I had to do off camera is just grind down all the welds just to make everything flush. And I checked that I had, the welds penetrated well enough. So, it's all looking good. So the next part is actually the bogie, or both of them. And I thought I'm just going to clean up the parts. There was a little bit of, ever so slight burr on the cut surfaces. So I was cleaning that up with this very small angle grinder, which I like to use because it just, well, first of all, it's battery operated and it's very, very light. And I was cleaning them up, and then it was just like, a big Lego piece with, without the studs, but everything was cut. I think I left, if I can remember, I always leave like a 1/2 mil tolerance, so I can just slot everything together. But then even with that 1/2 mil, everything pretty much stays together. So the only thing I was a little bit concerned is that the big outside frame has to be, perpendicular. So I was using again these angle magnets. I only have 2 of them. So I used 2 of them on the opposite angles, or the opposite sides, sorry, opposite corners. And on the other 2 corners, I had machining blocks, and I was holding them with a vise, and that's how I tried to keep everything squared. I wasn't, super worried about that, because the whole bearing block is also rides in a groove, and that groove also has a fair bit of tolerance. So if something is not perfectly perpendicular and a right angle, it's still going to be fine. But still, I wanted to look everything, right. So I did all the aligning and everything, and then I started just to spot weld each of the corners, and then I was going back to each of the sides, and then, making more substantial welds. And I also made sure that I do like opposite corners, and I would just go around so I don't introduce a lot of heat on one specific spot, because this is what I told that that's going to create a lot of distortion, and probably there is still some distortion in the whole thing. But as I said, there is a lot of play in these bogies, so I wasn't super concerned of getting everything spot on, because it just doesn't have to be. I mean, it has to be solid and reasonably square and everything and parallel, but this is what I can do at home. And you can see I go, back and forth, turning it over, trying to do, one side and then turn it over, so I don't do a lot of welding in one single side and one single spot. But I was doing a lot of welding inside and outside, and I don't think that you can make it out in the camera, but in many places where I have these cutouts and on the other parts I have the tabs, I tried to do that the tabs are a little bit shallower than the actual cutout, so I have a little bit of space to fill up with a weld, which I did in most cases. I didn't do in all the places. So I think at the end, whenever it matters and wherever it's visible, I'm probably just going to use putty and fill up the, the missing, corners and stuff there. I could have used a little bit more weld, but I thought that the weld was strong enough already. And next I wanted to weld the couplers, which are basically just 6 pieces. So there is like a base plate, and there are like these 5 things where you can put the pin through, and that's going to hold the drawbar. And the only thing I was a little bit concerned about is that I was obviously welding this upside down, and I wanted to make sure that these, the 5 pieces that are perpendicular are actually perpendicular, because when I did the same thing on my loco, they got a little bit crooked, which means that the pin gets jammed in the holes. So I was, making again spot welds, and I was checking that the pin is still free to move, just to make sure that I'm not, doing anything wrong, which where the pin is going to bind in the slot. But luckily it was working, so I just, finished the welding, and I did both of them, and they seem to be fine, working, correctly. The pin is, just loose enough, so it is easy to pull out and then put it back. So everything looks good there. And then once I finished with that, that was the big piece, the big, 5mm chassis. And in the drawing video, I described how I have this sort of like cross brace, or the thing for the Bogie support. And that's another 5mm. It's like a U-shaped channel, which is then put on the channel on this big main channel upside down. And I think here again, I was, designing everything to be perfect with a little bit of tolerance, but I think bending this channel was not done perfectly. Probably it cannot be done perfectly because there is not an awful lot of material. So what ended up happening is that the tabs on one side didn't fit on the tabs on the other side. So it didn't go into the slot. So I have to grind that down, which is going to happen a little bit later. But I said, okay, I have this big piece here. What if I just weld on the ends? So those are basically the buffer beams where the buffers and the couplers are going to be mounted on. And also it's going to stiffen up the whole structure. I mean, it's almost going to be like a box. And this being 5mm, I think it's more than enough for all the weights that I'm planning to use this for. I mean, basically it's going to be its own weight, and me and maybe my son, so one adult and one kid riding on it. And it's not a huge structure, so it's not a long chassis anyway. So welding the ends was, it's fairly easy. There was also this tab and slot alignment or structure, so I just had to just put it on, hold on with a magnet until I make the first few welds, and I would just welding it from the outside, and also put a couple of welds from the inside where it's not going to be visible anyway, but it should be, a reasonably strong connection between the two parts. And then a couple of days passed, well actually probably just one, because I was doing all the welding inside the garage over the weekend, but I didn't want to do any, major grinding over the weekend. And my Monday was a fairly light day. I was working from home, and I just thought, okay, let me just do the grinding. Probably took me about an hour with setup and then packing up and everything. And I was doing this in the driveway. And then you can just see that I was just cleaning up everything. So, pretty much I was cleaning up everything which would, where the weld is going to be in the way, or where it's going to be visible. So like outside corners, that has to be corners. So I grind off all the welds that were sticking out, all the welds that were sticking out on the back of the coupler. And so that was just a lot of grinding. And I don't know if it really makes sense, but I use this thicker grinding disc for just to make most of the welds go away. And then at the end I was like sort of like almost polishing with the wheel. I mean, that's not the grinding wheel. How do you call this when you have the like a sandpapers, like put on each other? That sort of grinding wheel. So I thought that leaves a better finish, but the other, thicker grinding wheel probably just works a little bit faster. So anyway, this is why I use two different grinders. So I was switching between them, yeah, it was fairly good. It was very noisy, so I had the headphones on and I was playing some. I think I was listening to some podcast which I could understand most of the stuff. It has noise cancellation, but moreover it has these rubber thing which plugs into your ear. So even though, I mean, I think it does the most of the cancellation physically with these rubber plugs, so it works quite fine. But I'm thinking that maybe I should buy some, proper ear protection. Maybe it's going to be easier to wear them anyway. Maybe buy one which has the speakers inside. And then finally, the biggest task is to grind down those tabs on the Bogie support that I mentioned a couple of minutes ago. And I decided not to grind them down, but only grind them from the inside, because most of it is still going to fit in the slots, but it's just a little bit shorter than on the drawing. So it looks like that the bend was a little bit more, slightly bit more than 90 degrees. So it sort of like caves inwards, which means that it's the distance between the tabs on the opposing tabs are shorter than the actual cutouts. So by making the tabs narrower on one end, it actually fits and slides into the slot, which I'm going to show you just now. And I want to show you, so this is that really small gap which made that I didn't have enough play in the cut, which you can see there. So this is why I had to grind the inside of that tab so it actually fits and it sits flush on this plate. And it was the same on the other side as well. So you can see this is flush here, and here there is a tiny bit of a gap. I don't think I can go, maybe you can see it there. Okay, but this is all done, so now I can weld these two cross braces together, and that probably should be the end of the main chassis. And to be honest, that was the end of this phase of the construction. So I have still a few more parts for the bogies, but they would need the bearing blocks anyway. So the bearing blocks arrived. I ordered them online, but I sent it off to my friend who has like a small CNC shop, and he can CNC the mill that I need into the bearing blocks. So once that is done, I can sort of like finalize the bogies. To be honest, I already bought the M10, so I think it's going to be an M10 14 nut for the kingpin. But once I have everything assembled, I'm just going to dry fit it, just to make sure that the M10 40 is going to be the good size. But I got the bolts as well, so if they are on the right size, then I can just wear them on, and then the bogie is going to be, mostly assembled and ready, so I can do some rough testing. With the exception that I need springs, so at some point I also need to go to the spring shop and buy probably a couple of different springs and see which one works best. So probably it's going to be another month, definitely a couple of weeks before all this done and the new video will be ready. But that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you in the next episode.